And we are officially live. Boop-a-doo. Bam. Welcome back, everybody, to Jargon Podcast. We're here for another Saturday covering news and other random stuff.
Hello.
Hello.
It is. It is I.
Who is you?
Nobody needs to know that.
Everybody needs to know that.
Hello, everybody. It is Zach again.
Tell us all of your secrets, Zach.
This one time
At band camp?
Band camp.
That's right. That's right. We've got some somewhat interesting and somewhat non-interesting stories for you guys this week. So apparently fidget spinners have been exploding because, of course, they have.
Why wouldn't they?
Yep. I've got a brief demo of the new Mac operating system. We've got Mac OS High Sierra in the house. Looks like some Ryzen Pro CPUs have been launched. We have details about those as well. And some more information about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Unfortunately, it's not good information for the community.
No, it's not good news at all.
Following that up, we have something new, something familiar at the same time. We have a top 10 Independence Day sale items. Does that make sense grammatically? I'm not quite sure because I forget how I worded it.
From Newegg. Newegg sale.
So Newegg is having an Independence Day sale. We have the top 10 items from there. That's much better. All right. Do you want to hop in on one of yours?
Yeah, actually, the first thing I want to cover is an unlikely story. So, John Romero sold his original copy of Doom 2 on eBay. So, for those that don't know who John Romero is, he is the co-founder of ID Software, aka the developers of the Doom franchise. He sold his original copies of Doom 2 for over $3,000 on eBay.
Wow.
Like, I just thought I'd have to say that. Like, I just wanted to talk about that because that's, first of all, if you go on eBay and you browse Doom 2 listings and like all the floppies in the same condition that he sold them for, they're like $90.
90.
Yeah, he made $3,000 off of it while these other people have had them sitting up there for years.
And I actually have the eBay listing here. So here it is, original Doom 2 discs, 3.5-inch floppies for PC. Winning bid was $31.50
Yeah.
with $5 shipping.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's expensive. And
Right.
the only reason for that really is because it was John's, right?
Yeah, that's really what it is. I do believe he offered to sign them or something as well.
I gotcha.
So that I don't know. Like, if somebody wrote on my Doom copies, I don't know if I'd be happy that it was him or mad that somebody wrote on them.
Maybe sign the sleeves, you know?
Yeah, sign the sleeves.
Seems like a good idea to me.
Or make a certificate of authenticity and sign that son of a gun.
Certificates of authenticity mean absolutely nothing in this day and age.
Oh, most definitely, but at least it wouldn't be a signature on my Doom stuff.
Fair enough.
It'd be something I could put in a frame and hang up. Be like, I have those Doom discs. They're in my lockbox.
Yeah, no big deal.
Behind a 3-foot thick steel door at the local bank vault.
Okay, so the next story we have here, I'm just gonna go for the fidget spinners because it is apparently a huge thing. Became a fad very quickly. So here is the source from Gizmodo. We regret to inform you that fidget spinners are now exploding. Great title, Gizmodo. So, according to local news reports, at least 2 Bluetooth-enabled spinners have now burst into flames while charging. May God have mercy on us all. So basically, the only reason these can catch fire is because they do contain lithium ion or lithium polymer batteries. Because some of them are Bluetooth speakers and have LED light shows built in, because of course they do. And unfortunately, people are leaving these charged overnight and they're overcharging. There's no kind of like overcharge protection circuit built into them because they're all very cheap Chinese made products. And that was not taken into consideration during their development. So people are leaving them to charge overnight. The batteries are getting very, very hot. They expand and eventually they catch into flames and sometimes explode, sending fidgety pieces of plastic your way.
When when I first saw this, I thought it was a joke. Like I was hoping it was a joke. And I'm not talking about the fact that they were exploding. I'm talking about the fact that you have to charge your stupid fidget spinner.
You got to power those LEDs somehow. So this
Uh,
one, apparently, one of these had been charging for less than 45 minutes, and that's just faulty electronics there.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, generally, electronics like this will explode if they've been charging overnight, and again, there's no overcharge protection. Most phones, I say most because I'm looking directly at you, Samsung. Most phones have very good overcharge protection built into the charging circuit on the battery, so you never have any issues if you leave your phone to charge overnight. Unfortunately, some don't quite get past Q&A, but still make it out of the warehouse. These were just cheap, very cheaply
Yeah.
made.
So,
So, lesson learned: buy quality fidget spinners, or just buy a fidget cube that doesn't have like a Bluetooth radio in it or LEDs, because those can be distracting.
like, that's the thing too, is like the whole basis behind the fidget spinner is for people that, just they can't sit still. And but like I fidget, but when I'm listening to music and stuff like that, like normally it's because I'm, doing something else.
Yeah,
So I don't see a reason to have Bluetooth speaker light show enabled fidget spinner. Like it was literally something to fill the fat and make money.
that's exactly what it was. I mean, the whole point of a fidget spinner is to keep your mind, well, your hands busy while you're doing some kind of task that keeps your mind busy. So, I mean, normally I don't own a fidget spinner or a fidget toy in general. I have a pen, and that's my fidget spinner. Or I rotated my hand, or yeah, exactly. Meetings at work all the time, spinning my pen. And we sell fidget spinners, ironically. I just won't buy one. Maybe I will.
I
Maybe I will one
I
day.
I own one, and like
Yeah,
I enjoy it. It's nice to have, but I don't know.
it doesn't have LED lights and a Bluetooth speaker.
No, it's literally four bearings and an aluminum shell.
Right. Yeah, I find it interesting that they even included Bluetooth speakers, but you're absolutely right. It's just some way to jam as much as you can into a little piece of hardware and get more money out of it.
Yep.
All right. What are we covering next, good sir?
Oh, let's see here. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Well, I guess we might as well open that can of worms.
Might as well.
So, essentially, the way EA has built the game, multiplayer will be pay to win.
That is really unfortunate.
So, the basis behind this is Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to have a weapons crafting system. You're going to be able to build your own weapons and make them better. Um,
Okay.
the materials that you get to increase your weapon status, you can either grind long hours and earn the materials, or you can just buy loot crates and randomly get items and set yourself ahead of the competition.
So, do you know if they're completely random or if there's like a tier
There's different
system?
there's a tier system, so there's going to be like uncommon loot crates, common loot crates, elite loot crates, stuff like that. So
Great.
you can go out and spend the most money possible and have all elite items and just build the best weapons there are, and multiplayer's yours.
I was really looking forward to Battlefront 2 as well because it has a campaign mode and you're able to play with prequel era characters, sequel era characters, and kind of mix and match it. Being a huge Star Wars fan myself, that was very exciting. But knowing that the multiplayer system is kind of a pay to win really puts the damper on the product for me.
Yeah, I was excited. I was really excited as well. I liked the original for multiplayer.
Yeah, it was fun
It
until it
was
became not popular and there were 5 people in each room. It was hard to start a game.
yeah. Oh well, I guess such is EA.
Such as EA. So I've got something a little different, but again, kind of the same for you guys. Moving forward here. So many people are getting spam calls from the IRS or other organizations claiming to be legitimate companies or organizations, such as the IRS. Unfortunately, most of them are fake, and people are falling for the scams. So there is a new noble character in the world going by Project Mayhem. The point of Project Mayhem is to build an application that DDoSes telemarketers. Wonderful bit of code. Wonderful bit of code. I looked at some of it, and we can look at some of it here, actually. Um, so here is their Patreon page. So according to his description, he is a security developer who tries to prevent victims from being scammed by different types of scams. These can be technology scams, phone scams, and more. So this is their Patreon. If you would like to help support this, I think I might. Feel free to visit this link. We can post that into the chat later on as well.
So I can actually post it right now, and I will pin it.
Cool. Thank you, sir. And they also have a YouTube channel. So if I can pull this up here. This is their channel. They actually have some recordings of the bot in action. I was unable to reach out to Project Mayhem and see if we could include a clip of their video in our video. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But it is a very cool piece of kit. And I have the GitHub too. So let me pull that up. So GitHub, very quickly, is a place to share code for applications. He's open sourced his application, and we can even take a look at it here, download it, clone it, and run it ourselves. But just a quick, brief look at the code. This is the raw C# code that's used to build the application. It uses a framework called Twilio. Let's open their page. Twilio is kind of an API that lets you make voice calls, even send text messages, and I think they have a video in the future. So basically, you go in here for C#, you would just copy this code, paste it in your project, and you would be able to use their system to make calls. So how this entire system works is it calls a bunch of telemarketers. You enter the number, it calls them with various phone numbers, 20, 30 at a time, and it'll just clog their system. If you hear a call go to voicemail, that means they're not able to make any calls out either, which is great. That means they're not able to scam anyone. Unfortunately, you have to have this running for a long time. In summary, I think Project Mayhem is a really cool idea, and this dude is doing some great work for the community and for people in general, so they're not getting scammed with these stupid things.
My question is the legality of the whole thing.
Yeah, about that. Technically, what you're doing isn't illegal, but I'm also not a lawyer. So I can't say for sure this is illegal or this is not. However, I like to think that
So
the Federal Telecommunications Commission would kind of side with you in this case.
I would suspect that they would, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's one of those things like it's still a denial of service, and
In a way, it is, yes.
if the phone numbers that are calling you are U.S. numbers, then they have all legal rights that anybody that uses a U.S. phone would have, and you're denying them that.
That's correct.
So that's the only thing that worries me is like I like what they're doing and I don't want to see them get in trouble for trying to help people.
Well, they've been up for a week now. They posted their first video a week ago, and this code has been live for a week, so nothing has happened yet. We'll see where it goes in the future.
I wish them the best.
Same. Good on you, Project Mayhem. Let's take it to the man.
Darn right.
Looks like we have something about LG using 77-inch panels.
Yes. First of all, I agree, Mike. I fully agree that like they call us, why not call them and at least cancel out one? And they're in this case, they're calling them and canceling them out them all. Like that was terrible English. Canceling out all their calls. Like there, let me just. All right, so
You're all good.
LG. So we talked about the LG 77-inch OLED panels. I do believe last week or the week before, um, but now LG has actually decided they're going to like make public consumer panels out of these
At a price.
at a price. So 77-inch OLED panels, they're going to be 2.57 millimeters thick, and they're light enough that you'll be able to just like hang up the 77-inch panel with a couple of magnets.
So this is marketed as the wallpaper TV, which sounds just about right. That is a massive piece of screen that will fill most
Yeah.
walls.
And that's the thing too, is it's OLED, so if you have like a curved wall or anything like that, you can just like fit it perfectly.
Yeah,
So
that's great. It does look like it is flexible, so that's wonderful.
um, let's see here. It'll be running WebOS version 3.5 and be enabled with smart functions. 25% higher brightness than the previous generation of LG OLED TVs. And the 77-inch model will cost 14,999 USD.
That's a lot of moolah.
That's a lot of moolah.
But then again, where else are you going to get a 77-inch wallpaper TV? I mean, you can't get one unless you buy this one. So I think it's
Or
fair for
have
them
a
to charge you the
secret
price
time
they want.
machine.
Yeah, I mean, the only other way would be with a time machine, I'm sure.
Secret time machine somebody's got in their basement. Like, hey, if you're planning on going to the future to get these when, like they're hitting Newegg's, Independence Day sales, like, just hit me up. I'll go with you. I'll keep you safe. I'm a big guy.
Okay. I will take note of that for when I actually start on my time machine project.
All right.
Okay.
I need discount TVs from the future.
All right, so it looks like our next story is just going to be a quick demo of macOS High Sierra. That is the official name, of course, of macOS 10.13. I believe they called it Totally Baked in their preview keynote.
They did.
They did.
They did.
So here I have my Mac, the Mac Pro behind me, in remote desktop. So performance may be a little slow. I hope it didn't stop. Do you have the stream open right now?
I do.
We might be coming back online.
Yep, we're back. It appears.
Okay, cool. Can you confirm that
Yep,
we are
we're
back?
we are back. We are back.
Okay, I'll just splice it all together then. All right. So again, the next story is a brief demo of macOS High Sierra.
We're gonna try this again. If we crash again, we might have to skip the demo, guys.
Yeah. So again, this is version 10.13. A lot of the improvements are kind of under the hood, aside from this fantastic new wallpaper. One demo I can show you very quickly is duplicating a video file. So if we check the properties of this video, you can see it's 4.78 gigabytes, a fairly large file. However, we can duplicate this file, and it should take next to no time at all. About a minute. So that is considerably less than it did on the previous version. It would have taken about 5 to 7 minutes just to duplicate this 5 GB file.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not
Keep in
bad.
mind this Mac does not have a solid state disk. If it had an SSD, it would be much, much faster. It'd be almost in. And most new Macs do come with SSDs. So if you have a Mac with an SSD, absolutely upgrade. I believe in November when it launches. And that's pretty much all I had for it. That's really the only demo that you can see, because again, most of them are, firmware updates, updates to the underlying file system that actually enables this kind of speed increase, and just various little tweaks around the user interface that we would spend almost an hour going through if we covered everything like that. But in just a few seconds, that will be completed.
Intense.
It is very intense. The suspense is killing me. So I can go ahead and cover this next story if you'd like me to, or you can cover it and we can start the Independence Day sale.
Go ahead and cover it, and we'll just swing into the sale. It's not. It's the new Ryzen CPUs.
Yeah, nothing too crazy here. So Ryzen Pro was announced. It's not a huge improvement on the existing Ryzen CPUs. So basically, they are the Ryzen R5, R7, and R3 CPUs with a little bit of a tweaking for enterprise customers and corporate customers.
So better stability, right?
Yeah, better stability. We have a few slides here. Again, they're basically the same thing. However, these are just those are just statistics. So here we go. It comes with built-in AES 128-bit encryption, which is great. It supports TPM, which is Trusted Platform Module. So most laptops for business actually include a TPM chip, and TPM controls the overall encryption and security of a system.
So more secure, better reliability.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. And something that they mention here is Intel vPro. Intel vPro is very, very cool. Previously, something like this only existed on Intel chips. Intel vPro lets you remotely manage and even view the desktop of computers in your network. So if you have an Intel vPro Core i5 machine on the network, it's built into the BIOS. So you can actually use like a server to remote control and view a desktop of a computer without having TeamViewer or Remote Desktop open on that machine. And you can also do remote, like USB enable, disable. You can remotely overclock the computer using Intel vPro. And features similar to Intel vPro are being introduced with Ryzen Pro. That's really the bulk of it. And they say highest quality yield wafers. So they're probably binning these CPUs. They're just the best of the bunch. They're cherry picking them out of the bundle and sticking them in a fancy box.
kind of like Intel does with K variants.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. Oh
Exactly
man.
like that.
So actually, a little side story. Speaking of Intel's K variants, yeah. So microcode problems causing hyperthreading to fail
I did see a
on
story about that.
what was it? It was on the new X299 chips, correct?
Yes.
Like Intel, what in the actual bad
Expletive.
word?
What is the actual expletive?
Like holy crap, bad thermal paste, overpriced, failing, like bend CPUs failing. Like, come on, guys, get your head out of your ass.
For real.
The entire X299 platform is a complete flop. The KB Lake chips are worthless on the platform. Like, it's absolutely stupid.
It is a mess. It is a complete mess.
Like, I knew Horizon was going to upset the market a little bit, but I didn't think it was going to cause Intel to trip. This is sad. Like, Intel, you're better than this. Come on. Like, you didn't take the lead 10 years ago to flub up over some Ryzen CPUs. Like,
I
they're
mean,
good, but they're not that good.
I'm really beginning to think that they only took the lead because AMD held back.
That's a
I've always, within the last 10 years or so, I've always been that guy that thinks, oh, Intel is just better generally, but unfortunately at this point, I can't say that anymore. Ryzen is just blowing all my expectations, and in a good way, to be fair. They're surpassing my expectations. And Intel, especially with the X299, it's just, I question many of their choices. And I don't see it getting better for a little while, unfortunately.
I have to agree. It's
All
all
right.
right. So let's move on. All right, we've yelled at Intel in like 5 of our 9 streams. So,
we have. We have. People might start to think we're AMD fans or something.
well, I like them both. It's just freaking stupid. Come on. All right, let's move on. I'm tired of being angry. So,
Okay.
we got an Independence Day sale top 10. This is for Newegg, and we can post our opinions of the top, or we can tell you our opinions of the top 10, why they're here, and then if when we're done, we can post our small list here, which has links to every part we're going to mention.
Dur, 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 dur. I know that's not the
So,
right song, but I wanted to do that.
starting off the list, we've got the XYZ Printing DaVinci 3D pen.
This is insanely cheap.
Yeah, like
So the normal price is $69.99, but it's on sale for $24.99.
that's awesome, guys.
For
That's
something,
awesome.
yeah, for something that you can make plastic from or reform plastic, I guess. That's really cool because the cheapest 3D printers that are worth anything are starting at like $300, $350. To get any kind of quality, you're going to spend much more than that. To get something that puts filament on paper or whatever you want for $25, that's a steal.
So this pen only accepts PLA filament, 1.75 millimeter filament diameter, and it has a zero point 0.8 millimeter nozzle diameter. So just so people know, if you use or if you have a 3D printer and you're looking for a pen, just to make sure your filaments stuff are interchangeable. It would stops you from having to buy 2 different types of filament.
Yeah, exactly. And something to keep in mind is that 0.8 millimeter nozzle diameter. Um, if you're say making a basket out of this, just a small 3D printed basket, each layer of that basket is going to be zero point 0.8 millimeters. Good 3D printers can drop down to 0.02 or 0.01 millimeters. So you have to understand that this is going to be much lower resolution. I'm using air quotes when I say that, than a typical 3D printer. So keep that in mind.
All right, so let's move on to the second item.
Sure. So here is a Western Digital 2 terabyte portable hard drive. It is USB 3.0, which is great. It's better than USB 2.0 anyway.
Much.
And it's selling $20 off. So this sale ends in 4 days. But it is only $80 for 2 terabytes. That's not terrible.
It's not
It's not
terrible. It's
terrible.
not the best deal you're gonna find. I'm sure you bought one from Walmart a while back. That was a better sale, right?
Yeah. We picked up. To be fair, this may be a fluke. It might have been mispriced, and it might have just been for them to unload their remaining stock. But I was able to pick up a Toshiba 3 terabyte external hard drive, USB 3, 7200 RPM for $54.
A lot of that's got name on it though. Western Digital's a much better name.
It is a much better name. To be fair, though,
So
the 3 terabyte I bought is currently inside my computer. I ripped it out of its enclosure, and I'm actually using it as data storage instead of just having it as an external drive. So, yeah, Western Digital is definitely a better name. I would prefer to buy a Western Digital drive over pretty much anything else. So if you're in the market for a 2 terabyte drive, this isn't a terrible price.
Nope, not at all. And the fact that it's, you can just put it in your laptop bag or your backpack or whatever and take it with you is great.
Exactly.
All right, let's slide down here. I got a couple of items that are a little mixed matched on
Okay.
the list, but I'm going to talk about them together because they go together. So the next item on the list is the MSI B350 Crate Gaming AM4 motherboard. So this is Ryzen board. Um,
It looks cool.
114.99. So that's the original price is 129.99. And there's a $10 mail-in rebate. So overall, you're getting it for $105 after the rebate versus 130. So you're saving $25, which is pretty cool. And at the same time, the Ryzen 7 1700X, which is the 95 watt TDP at 3.4 gigahertz 3.8 turbo. I actually currently own this CPU. It will go higher than that 3.8, I promise. And this is the X variant of the CPU, so XFR and all the fanciness. Without the fan cooler, you can snag it for $350, $349.99, whereas original price is $400, $399.99.
And let's be real, if you're buying a Ryzen X series CPU, you're probably going to have a third-party cooling solution, whether that be a good air cooler or even like an entry to good liquid cooler. You're going to have some kind of cooling solution separate from the stock fan, so don't worry about it. You're saving the money by not getting it.
Yep. So, and that B350 board does allow overclocking. The only thing is B350 misses a couple of things versus the X370 chipset. I think some of it was just some small things like the additional PCI lanes and stuff. But if you're buying a budget board, generally the amount of PCI lanes accessible is not something that's going to kill you.
Right, because
And
you're probably building a relatively budget gaming computer, so you're only going to have one GPU. So if you have one GPU, having it right there in that top PCI Express by 16 slot is going to be no issue.
exactly. So, I actually run a Ryzen 7 1700X. They overclock fantastically, but your mileage may vary. I use an open loop cooler, an X370 chipset, so I'm probably pulling a little bit of extra performance out of the 1700X that B350 board might not allow.
Right.
But still, you're saving a total of $75 on that combo from sticker price. So that's pretty cool. That $75 will buy you a 16 gig RAM kit. Just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. and that's really all you're going to need for gaming too. I think for 350, this is exactly the same price as the 7600K from Intel. So this is definitely a good competing processor for that. It's going to do much better in applications for non-gaming too. So like creative applications or rendering or streaming. This is going to do much better than the Intel counterpart at the same price range.
Well, it's the 4 extra cores and the 8 extra threads that really step up the
Yeah, I mean it's twice
thing.
both counts.
Yeah, so plus the processor overclocks itself based off of temperature. Like you can't beat that.
Well, Zach, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump around here a bit too. I'm going
Go
to focus
for it.
on the Blue Yeti. So this is the Blue Microphones Yeti USB Microphone Silver Edition. It is $129. Is that what we have here? With an extra 20% off. So, or I'm sorry, $20 off. With a code that... Zach, would you mind putting that in the chat? So the original price for this thing is $169.99, which is actually a little bit inflated. So both Zach and I are actually using the Blue Yeti microphones. I'm using the special blackout edition, and Zach is using this silver edition, aren't you? Or are you using platinum?
I am using the silver.
Okay,
Yes,
cool. And I mean, you're hearing the Blue Yeti right now. We're both using it as we speak. So this is exactly what it'll sound like. It could sound better depending on how much you tweak it. They do vary a little bit. I've noticed that some users have more of a noise floor, and I think we're lucky that we have such a low noise floor on our microphones. But if you're getting into streaming, there really isn't anything better on USB than the Blue Yeti. It is the top of the tier USB microphone.
Apparently, I have the platinum.
Oh, you
My
have the
mistake.
platinum?
I have the platinum.
Okay.
That is my mistake.
We have the platinum here. There's the platinum. All right, so that is what Zach is currently using. Is this the black? So I'm actually using a different one than this. Mine has the top portion here that actually goes over the microphones. Mine is silver, and there is some silver trim around it, like chromed out silver trim. But yeah, the body is black just like this, and the stand is also silver. But again, $130. That's a typical price for. Let me 1 second. Okay, they can see it now. That is the stand that comes with it. It is a massive, massive microphone. So you definitely want to make sure you either have a lot of desk space, or preferably, like us, get a mount. Yeah, it's just an arm that you can mount the Yeti on. It screws on. Get a pop filter. Get all your accessories. But again, for $130, it's a typical price for the Yeti. It's about the best you can get without having a very expansive recording setup. With XLR and soundboards and all that.
Honestly,
It's good stuff.
I prefer your little pop filter there, the little Yeti condom.
Yeah, let me pull this over here. Excuse the sound. Um, move my cam too. So yeah, there's the silver trim that's on mine. It's not the full black, but you can pick this up for about $6. It's a very nice pop filter. It's just a big piece of foam that fits over it, and it's very, very cushiony. And I was using a pop filter similar to the one Zach was using, but I figured this would be a slightly better investment, just because it's compact and it doesn't get in the way.
Boom.
Boom. It's a boom. Yeah.
All right. So I did miss the fact that the passport that we covered also required a code.
Oh, did it require a code?
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and post the passport code as well.
Oh, that's for the extra $5 off.
Yes.
Okay. So you can get it for $75 with the code that he's posting in the Facebook chat right now.
Sorry about typing loudness and stuff.
Typing is a thing we do.
The mechanical keys, yo.
Yeah.
So actually, Mike asked us a question. I would like to cover that before we continue.
Okay.
What do y'all think about computer company getting into the home food delivery? Verizon advertising gaming computer on TV commercial. So I'm believing these are two separate statements and / questions. Computer company getting into home food delivery. I'm not sure what you're referencing there. Do you know what he might be referencing, Derek?
It could be Amazon. Could
Say
be
that-
Amazon. I know Amazon currently has Amazon Prime Pantry, which is a service that allows you to order food like cereal and pantry items, things that aren't going to expire immediately. And you can actually set up a subscription service for them too. So you can order, say, a box of cereal and, Tide Pod detergent, and just get that delivered to your house every month. Or you can have the dash button, which is just a little button you press when you're running low on a substance, and it'll automatically be shipped to you through Amazon. So that's already kind of in place, and I think Amazon has plans to expand on that in the future.
Haven't they actually opened up physical store locations now too, like for grocery shopping and whatnot?
They're going to be, and it's going to be a pretty cool system.
So yeah, it was like use your phone for everything. Essentially, it tracks your whereabouts.
Yeah,
it knows what you grabbed, and then you just walk out and it pays.
Yeah, so the cool thing is you don't even have to use your phone. Your phone just does it for you. Sorry about that. So what happens is it detects your phone in your pocket using the Amazon app. It detects when you enter the store, gets your identity essentially, or like your ID. And when you pick up an item, there's an NFC sensor on the bottom of the item. It'll detect that you pick it up, add it to your cart, and you can just, when you walk out of the store, it'll charge your Amazon account automatically. Yeah, yeah, that's correct, Katie. So Katie said in Cali they do meats and such. There are markets where Amazon Prime delivery is as little as an hour, because they are testing some drone deliveries that's happening in California. It's happening in New York, and I believe it's happening in Atlanta, maybe some more cities like that. So they'll just have someone deliver to you on a drone or a bike. So it can be as little as 1 hour. You can
Blue
do.
Apron.
Sorry.
Mike said Blue Apron.
Oh, Blue Apron isn't a computer company.
No, they're just a healthy food from home company.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Blue Apron does do sponsorships for some like YouTube personalities. For example, Linus Tech Tips. Blue Apron sponsors their content, but Blue Apron does not deal directly with electronics or computers.
Nope. And as to the second thing, Verizon advertising gaming computers on television commercials. Good,
Yeah, cool.
good.
Yeah, PC Master Race. Let's get more people on board.
Yeah. We need to create a hashtag. No, we don't, but talked
Uh,
myself out of it.
Already? That fast?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not that hard to talk me out of stupid things. All right.
And it is sometimes, Zach. Sometimes you really
Moving
challenge me.
forward. Moving forward. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, do you want to take a look at the G Skill Ripjaws keyboard here?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
And uh, yes.
I have it pulled up.
All right. G-Skill Ripjaw's KM780 RGB mechanical keyboard. Huh! What a name.
It's available in a lot of mechanical flavors. We got blue, brown, red, RGB. Wait, cherry MX RG. Oh, RGB blue. Gotcha. RGB brown and RGB red.
All right. So it looks like you got your RGB and non-RGB variants,
Yep.
all of your common keys. I'm using browns now. I actually love them.
Yes, browns are, from what I've heard, the best. I'm using red, but I would have preferred brown.
They're quieter. They're much
Yes.
quieter. Got a nice soft feel to not as loud. You have dampeners on yours, correct?
Yeah, I actually do have dampeners on mine, but mine are red too, so they're actually supposed to be the quietest. Like, even quieter than the brown. But here's a sample of me typing. And we all know how that falls apart so quickly.
And I'll just give an example of myself.
Yay, typing.
Sorry, buddy. All right, back to topic though. So, looks like what do we got here? Newegg has it for $119.99 plus an extra $10 off with this code that I will be posting in the chat. Da-da-da-da. Which would give it to you for $109.99. Original price is $169.99. So that's
That's a
nice
really good deal for, so I have the RGB red pulled up. That is a very good deal for that kind of thing. I believe I probably paid just about that much for mine, but I don't have this that's 10 key on the side. Mine is RGB, it's also Corsair, but $110 for a 10 keyed keyboard with all these accessories, RGB and Cherry MX switches is good. That is a nice solid price.
So I actually almost bought that G-Skill keyboard, the
Uh,
Ripjaws
this one?
KM780. Yes, at full price. But I was in a rush. We were going to Walmart, and I was like, all right, I'll push this off. I'll order it when I get home. It's not a big deal anyway. And I went to Walmart, and they were having a sale in the electronics section, and I picked up a G710 Plus with the mechanical browns for like $40.
That's incredible.
And it was brand new. It was not open box.
It was just clearance then?
Yep, they were like, it needs to be gone now.
Good job, man.
Yeah, it was a sweet snag, but I can't give any opinions of the Ripgels keyboard though.
So we already did the Yeti. The next item on our list is the MSI Z270 Empower Gaming Titanium. That is a name. And just to show you how
Yeah,
big of a name it is, here it is. Look at that. For some reason, they put USB 3.1 in the product name and say it is 6 gigabits per second. But it is what it is.
MSI's naming schemes need work.
They
Their
do.
product is quality, but their naming needs work.
Absolutely. So this is a slightly older piece of kit. It's for Intel. Again, the Z270 chipset. It's available for 7th gen or 6th gen processors. It supports DDR4 RAM. And it has some cool features on here, including the audio boost. It has M.2 support and a very clean look. So this one is normally priced at $269.99, but on sale for $239. And it's actually $214 after the $20 rebate card.
So that's a sweet snag. The titanium boards are very expensive.
Yeah, they are. They're up there with Sabretooth and the other extremely high quality brands. Um, I think this would be a good thing to pick up if you're still looking to build a Z270 system. If you're not really into that whole X299 and you want to build it more of a consumer grade system, this is probably good for you. Oh, it has a fancy backplate. Look at that backplate.
Yeah,
That's very
like
nice.
super sexy backplate.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's super, super high quality. Yeah, it looks like it's water cooling ready. Full fan control, 6 fan headers on the board. Gaming device port, I'm wondering, this is MSI, so it probably means, if I can look at the I/O here, mine has this as well. I have an older AMD motherboard. But these two ports here, those are specifically built for gaming devices. So like your mouse and your keyboard, those will plug in directly under this PS2 port. And apparently, according to MSI, this lowers latency when using the peripherals. I don't know how much I buy into that. I don't notice much of a difference, depending on which USB port my mouse is plugged into.
You got to be
But
careful. You got to be careful sometimes because like I saw an advertisement from Asus talking about their 144 hertz panels in the new ROG laptops,
yeah,
and they were showing a side by side comparison. It said 60 hertz versus 144 hertz in a still frame image, and they made 60 hertz blurry.
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works at all, but that's what they did.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the quality of the picture. For those that are unaware, hertz is just a measure of the frequency of the monitor. Is just a measure of how many times the screen refreshes in a second. So a 60 hertz display means that a new image is shown on the display 60 times per second. So you get pretty smooth content. Most monitors are 60 hertz. Most TVs now are around 60 hertz, generally for the main consumer audience.
Yeah.
A 144 hertz display is super awesome for gaming, but it displays 144 frames per second, and that's where 144 hertz comes from. So if you have a gaming computer that is able to generate 144 or more frames per second in your game, then it'll result in a much smoother image than a 60 hertz display.
But it's not going to cause it to look better. That's your graphical settings.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be blurry. 60 hertz is never going to be blurry unless you have a piece of junk powering whatever game you're playing. So if the game is just more taxing than what your computer can actually produce, it's probably not even going to be blurry. It's going to stutter. You're going to experience what are called frame drops, where the amount of frames per second your graphics card is generating dips below the refresh rate of your monitor. So say 60 hertz. If you're getting 45 frames per second in a game, you're going to see little bits of choppiness, not blur.
It'll look like lag,
Yeah, that's
not
exactly
not
what it
blur.
is.
So, all right. So Um, so step one, MSI, don't lie. Step two, ASUS, definitely stop lying.
Yeah. Well, anyway, back on topic. That is again only $235, which is a good price for a titanium motherboard.
Very good price.
Yeah.
215 after mail-in rebate.
Oh, that's right. 215 after the $20 rebate card. Thank you.
Rebates are always worth it too. I love getting surprise money 3, 4 weeks later.
Yeah, so you'll be spending 235 up front, and then randomly, hey, here's some money.
Like,
Here's some
oh,
free money.
a check for $20 from MSI. Like, okay.
Right?
When did I become employed?
I haven't bought anything from Newegg in a long time. Does it show up from Newegg or from MSI?
uh, it varies per product. I've had some that you sent the rebate to Newegg, and I've had some where you send the rebate to the manufacturer.
I gotcha.
So you're always pay attention to your rebate details after your purchase.
Exactly. Make sure you send it to the right place and make sure you receive something from the right place.
And always make sure you receive it. If not, you be calling people because they forgot about you.
Yeah, that's important. Receiving your money for free is important.
Yes.
It looks like we have a smartphone up next. You want to talk about it?
Yes, after you pronounce the name, because I can't pronounce this.
Huawei.
Huawei?
Nope. H is silent. Huawei.
Huawei.
There you go.
Huawei.
Huawei.
Huawei. Honor 8 dual camera. It's the Honor 8 dual camera, unlocked smartphone 64 gig model.
In midnight black.
In midnight black.
Let's see if I can get a shot of the dual cameras. There we go. There they are.
$319.99 plus a free Orico?
I think. Orico? Something like that.
Orico? QC 2.0, 10,000 milliamp per hour, or milliamp hour.
It's milliamp hour.
It's milliamp hour. I don't know why I said per. Power bank and gifts.
Yeah, so again, the sale ends in 4 days. That's a pretty substantial price cut for the smartphone itself.
Yeah.
But getting a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank with some gifts. What are the gifts exactly? You get a case, a transparent case. Oh, so you just get 2 cases with the charger there.
So the gifts suck, but the charger and the phone are actually really good.
Yeah, the charger's very nice. It's a value of $28.99 according to Newegg.
Midnight Black, Sapphire Blue, Sunrise Gold, and Pearl White are your colors. The specs is a Bionic 12 megapixel dual lens rear camera and an 8 megapixel front camera. Not the most fantastic, but still good cameras. An 8 megapixel front camera is actually pretty good. A lot of people still like to throw 5s on there. I don't know why they do it.
No, I mean, my OnePlus 3T has a 16 megapixel front camera.
Right?
Why would I ever get a phone with 5 megapixels? 8 I could live with.
Yeah, eight's you can handle 8. 2-in-1 design, 3D fingerprint scanner, a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty good. Standard USB Type C interface. 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of built-in storage, expandable to 128. Honestly, let's see here.
The good thing to me about all this is that it comes with Android 7.
Yes.
Because a lot of these lower end phones, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a lower end phone, even at $300.
Yeah.
These aren't quite flagship specs. However, having Android 7 is very important because most of these phones come with something like Android 5 or Android 6. Getting Android 7.0 isn't as good as I would like. I would like it to be Android 7.1.1. That's just me. But just having Android Nougat at all is kind of a step above most of the other low-end phones.
Plus, it's probably upgradable. You can probably update the OS with relative ease.
Since it's unlocked, you might be able to root it and do it. I'm not sure what Huawei's policy is on updates because most manufacturers just don't bother
Well,
a lot of the time.
most people replace their phone every year to year and a half anyway. So
Yeah, and that may be worth it. Instead paying $200 to $300 for a phone and replacing it every year, may be worth it as compared to spending $600 every couple of years. But I guess that's personal preference. I would prefer to have an updated version of Android, and that's what kept me with iPhone for so long. I was really just I prefer Android as an operating system. However, most manufacturers don't update, and Apple is in control of it. So Apple always updates every single year. Everybody gets the new version. But yeah,
until the phone's no longer supported and you're
correct.
sitting there sad because your overpriced hunk of garbage is now useless.
However,
I hate Apple.
can
I'm not gonna be nice.
you don't have to be nice, but I can say the exact same thing about Samsung a year earlier. So I mean, you have a
Yeah.
Samsung phone, they'll release updates for 2 years, and then you have a very expensive hunk of junk. Whereas Apple is still pushing updates to that phone 3, 4 years later.
Hey, but we can't say anything about exploding this department because both Apple and Samsung have had phones that explode.
You are correct.
It happens. Sometimes your ear gets blown off just for calling grandma.
Hey, Grandma, how you? Ah!
Eh, all grandma
Ah,
heard was a and you were
pretty
gone.
much. All right, next up we have an LG 55-inch ultra high definition HDR smart TV. That is
That's
a mouthful.
that's a pretty good TV if you do ask me.
It is a very good TV, so it's over $100 off. Do we have any specific promo code for this? No. So the final sale price is $696. That's down from $800. This is pretty much a do-it-all kind of TV. It's 55 inches, good size, 4K, good resolution, but that HDR,
Smart TV, and HDR.
yeah, I mean HDR is really is what sets this thing apart from the rest. Not many TVs are supporting HDR yet. HDR is just insane. It really makes colors saturate, and I'd hate to say the term pop, but it does. Blacks are even darker. The colors are just incredibly rich, and it works at very good viewing angles. So even if you were just staring at the TV from this angle, where you could still see the screen a little bit, it would still look incredibly vibrant. Blacks would be non-existent, and it would still be very good looking. So
So
yeah,
I
this
just want to throw something out. If you scroll down the page a little bit there, you can see like some of the apps that the TV, like app support for the TV,
okay.
and it just makes me want to throw out there that if any of you install the Onion app, like, and you don't know what the Onion is, uninstall it before you spread stupid. Just throwing
The
that out there.
Onion.
They're a satirical website. They make fake news articles, not in the we want to mislead you way, but in like a comedic way. And more often than not, people think they're true and they get really butthurt. And then other people that know what the Onion is have to tell them like it was satire, you're an idiot, like Google search something.
Yeah, I can't count the amount of times I've seen like a family member or generally an older individual. I hate to stereotype, but it is true here. Share an article from the Onion or a similar satire site, and I just immediately reply with a Snopes article, saying, "Hey, you need to calm down. It's
It's not
satire.
true.
It's very dry humor."
Trump didn't get a sex change. Like,
Not as of the filming of this episode.
yeah.
All right, so the next thing we have is a Lenovo Y520 15.6-inch gaming laptop. You want to tell us about that?
I would love to tell everybody about this.
Do it. The world is your oyster,
So,
Zach.
so first of all, it's Lenovo and it's gaming, so that's kind of new. Like, don't really see that much. It's low end gaming. It's more of an entry level thing. Honestly, though, um, it's only here because it's on sale. Do not buy this thing at full price. Whatever
What
you
is full
guys do.
price?
Full
Twelve hundred
price,
dollars.
full price is yeah, just under $1,200. On sale right now, it is $939 flat. Um, but yeah, don't buy this thing at full price. For that price tag, you can snag an MSI laptop with a 1060 or 1070 and just have a much better time.
Right. But for 939, under $1,000, this seems okay.
Yeah,
Um,
we're talking a KB Lake i5, a 7300 HQ, 1050 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM, 128 gig SSD, and a 1 terabyte standard hard drive, and Windows 10. Like it's actually a pretty solid machine hardware wise. 15.6-inch Full HD, so 1920 by 1080 display, 1080p. Um, we got Type C support, USB 3.0. I don't see any 3.1. Hopefully, maybe the Type C might be 3.1. It's just not
yeah, it
labeled.
doesn't explicitly mention that, does it?
Not that I'm seeing anywhere. I'm digging through the specs now to make sure I didn't miss it for my notes.
It has a collapsible Ethernet jack.
It just says Type C.
Uh,
Unfortunately, I don't know. Um,
well, it has a proprietary power connector, so I'm assuming that Type C is only USB 3.0.
Bomb, bomb, bomb.
And that's how
Uh,
you can tell. If your
so,
laptop supports USB-C 3.1, generally they'll allow that to charge the laptop. Not
yep.
always, but generally. So if you see a
So,
proprietary power connector like this, probably not 3.1.
so that's the thing too. Is like there's there's nothing particularly bad about this laptop, but at the same time, it's an entry level gamer for the mobile user. Um, and it includes Rocket League, which, if you've never played Rocket League, it is a fun game. It is a lot of fun. Get a controller, though. Like, keyboard and mouse for that game is no fun.
I've actually never played Rocket League.
You need to play Rocket League.
I
It's
might.
totally worth it.
I might. I've actually never played Overwatch either.
I've
I
never
don't
played
play.
Overwatch either.
I don't really play esports games.
Overwatch is one of those games like oh, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's like called Heroes or something like that.
Hmm. Don't
But
ring a
it's a
bell.
free to play game, and
Overwatch is free to
it's
play?
no, the like Heroes game or whatever it
Gotcha.
was. But like I actually played the open beta for the game, and then Overwatch came out, and the beta got shut down essentially
Ooh.
because they were almost identical, and Overwatch was a pay to play, and so they made money and then like opened suit. It was a terrible thing, but either way, they were the free to play game is
Hmm.
still out there with active
Are
servers
you thinking about
and
Paladins?
Paladins. That's the one.
Yeah, I've played Paladins. It was
Like
actually kind of fun.
it's the same game. They're
Hmm.
they're literally like the same freaking game, except Paladins is free, Overwatch costs money and is stupid. I
Okay. Went right there with it.
went right there with it. I'm sorry if any of you guys like Overwatch, but I won't. I will never play Overwatch because Paladins exists.
I need to play Paladins sometime.
It's been a
Definitely.
while since I played it. I think we used to play it together, didn't we?
I think we have played it once or twice. I think we even streamed it back in the day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Wow, man. Time flies.
that was over a year ago.
All right, but the laptop is actually pretty good, guys, and there is no code for this laptop. But yeah, 1080p display, 15.6-inch. You get an SSD, good RAM, a decent GPU, and a more than capable processor. So for the price, that's why it made the list.
Yeah, it looks fine to me.
Don't
Especially for the
just
price, including Rocket League is probably going to get some people to buy it that otherwise wouldn't. And 16 gigs of RAM is very important.
it's
16 gigs is great.
it's a slick looking little machine though. Like props to Lenovo. They made something that looks, like styled for, what their market is.
Yeah, I was looking. I had this up for the stream a moment ago. That faux carbon fiber texture. It looks really nice on this.
Yeah, generally a lot of companies that go for that fake carbon fiber look mess it up.
Now, to be fair, I haven't felt it, and I think that would be
If
the one thing that made me buy it for this price if it felt good.
if
Because
it feels like vinyl, there's no way that
right,
would
but if
be.
that texture is more like a G10, it's very grippy. Yeah, that would be good.
So, but that's the end of our list. That is all 10 items,
Hmm.
and that's the stream.
Yeah, that's all we had for today. We will have something coming early next week. It may or may not be under the Jargon name, but expect something from me. That's all I'll
So,
say.
um, just because we don't show it in a stream or post it directly from the Jargon page, we will always make sure that Jargon, since you heard it here, we will give you some way of seeing the content, whereas it might be a post on the website or just a small update link on the Facebook page. So,
Absolutely. And we plan on being live again next Wednesday. The last Wednesday stream did go okay. The numbers look good. We actually had more viewership than I expected. So if this keeps working out, we may move up to twice a week. We will definitely be online and live next Saturday, preferably without a crash in the middle of the stream,
that would
because
be
that was a bit
preferred.
irritating. But it is what it is. Software crashes, that's what it does.
Like, like man, yeah, I could hear it in your tone of voice. Like, you need to light an incense and drink a beer. Like,
Yeah, I'll recover. You know, I'll recover at some point. It was tragic. Tragic.
he almost cried. Everybody, almost. No, he didn't almost cry. It just
You don't know me. You couldn't see me during that time.
you don't. You can't question me.
You're ripping me apart. Wait, no, it's you're tearing me apart.
You're
What do you say?
tearing me apart.
Anyway, everybody have a great weekend. We expect to see you soon.
Have a good holiday as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody got a day off of work and gets to spend some time with family and friends for the celebration of not only Independence Day here in the States, but Canada as a holiday this weekend as well. Um,
What is that holiday, Zach?
um, and it's Canada Day.
Is it? It actually
Yes.
is Canada Day.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I
great.
had to think about it, but that's actually today. Today's Canada Day. Holy shit. Happy Canada Day,
Happy Canada
Canada.
Day, Canucks. Happy Canada Day, eh?
Um,
Happy Canada Day, eh?
all right, we're getting terrible here. But no, everybody enjoy your weekend, enjoy the holidays, and enjoy jargon. Later.
Bye.
That was cringy.
We're always cringy.